Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. I am Attorney Yael Brudner coming to you guys live from Orange County, California. I hope everyone's doing amazing and that you are keeping cool in this crazy heat that we're having here. So wherever you are, I wanted to thank you guys for joining today. If you're watching the recording, that's also awesome. Thanks so much. Feel free to write your questions in the comments, and I promise to try to get to them as we go. A lot of you folks have sent me questions in advance, so thank you so much for that. I am streaming today on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on TikTok. So thank you guys so much for being here. Let's jump into the questions right away. And like I said, if you have any other questions you think of, please feel free to write them on the comments. Okay, guys? Okay, so we got this question come in earlier. What is the difference between the fiancé visa and the spousal visa? So we actually get this question a lot. It's a really good question. A lot of couples that are not married yet are thinking about this and asking these questions. What should they do? Should they do the fiance visa? Should they do the spousal visa? And I'm happy to discuss both today to tell you a little bit about them and what the difference is between them. So fiance visa and spousal visa are two different visas, basically, that will lead eventually to the same thing, but they're two different ways to enter the United States. And they're both based on a relationship with a US citizen. So for the fiance visa, that's for couples that are not married yet, but they are engaged. So there's a US citizen here in the United States that has a fiance abroad, and they would like to petition their fiance to come to the US and to live with them here. The process will end with the fiance receiving a 90-day visa for the purpose of coming to the United States and getting married to their US citizen petitioner. And the spousal visa is different in a way that you do have to be married first to apply. So it's a way for a US citizen to petition their spouse to come to the United States. And the end result of the spousal visa is that the foreign-born spouse will receive an immigrant visa. So this visa is more powerful than the fiance visa because it allows you to come to the United States and immigrate. So it's not just a 90-day visa like the fiance visa is, it's a more permanent option. So once you enter on a spousal immigrant visa, you are automatically a resident as soon as you come into the US. Whereas with the fiance visa, you come, you get a 90-day visa, and you have to get married to your US citizen petitioner within those 90 days. And after that, you have to apply for your green card to get your permanent status in the US. So you can see that both processes will lead to coming to the US and getting a green card based on your relationship with a US citizen. And it's just a very personal decision which one to pick. So at the end of the day, it usually ends up with personal preferences. Okay, so it's an awesome question. Thank you so much for asking that. If you want to have a personalized one-on-one consultation to talk about your case, feel free to reach out. We're actually here available to take your calls right now. So you can call us and set a time to talk to an attorney about your case. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining. Just checking out TikTok real quick. Oh, wonderful. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to write them here in the comments, and I will try to get to them, okay? Let's see. There's a question here about citizenship. Okay, when can I apply for citizenship? 3 years after I got my green card or 5 years after? Okay, so there's a lot of confusing information out there online about how quickly after you become a green card, you get your green card, can you apply for naturalization? So the general rule is that 5 years after you become a resident, you get your green card, and that's the first green card. So even if you got a conditional green card, that date still counts, the day that you got your first green card. And there is an exception for spouses of US citizens. So if you're married to and living with a US citizen, guess what? You can apply after 3 years from your first green card. Okay. It's an awesome time to apply for any kind of immigration benefit, in my opinion, but citizenship, I feel like the most. We've been getting citizenship interviews scheduled super fast. We just got one that was less than a month after we filed. They were already scheduled for an interview, which is crazy, insane. We've been getting Saturday interviews for naturalizations. So it looks like immigration is trying to speed those up. Okay, let's see. Tim, thank you for your question. I see it. Let me try to read it. It's a little bit long, but let me try to read it. It looks like you applied through Rapid Visa, and they sent your wife's application, but they didn't include their 3 children. The case went to the NBC, and after all the docs were reviewed, they indicate the kids were not included. Is there anything they can do? Okay, are you taking new clients? Yes, we're taking new clients, and we're happy to help you. Please reach out for a consultation because it's a little bit more of a discussion. I have some questions for you. It's more of a one-on-one kind of talk. Reach out. Our number is right here. You can call us right now to schedule a consultation, and then we can have some one-on-one time to discuss. But usually we can fix. Almost everything can be fixed. It might be a little bit longer of a process, but usually things can be fixed, which is good. Okay. Julio is saying, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for coming and saying that we're the best. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Julio. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a good question that we received earlier. I plan on petitioning my wife for a green card. Can I petition my stepson as well? So if you're a US citizen and you're petitioning your spouse for a green card, you can also petition your stepson as long as you and your spouse got married before the stepson's 18th birthday. Okay, because if you got married before your stepson turned 18, then he is considered your child and you can petition him directly. Okay, so if you're a US citizen, then you would be petitioning once for your wife and once for your stepson, and you can do that at the same time. Okay, so it's a really good option that not a lot of people know that they can do. Let's see. Oh, I'm so happy, Tim. Yes, I'm so happy, Tim, that you are feeling better. Thank you so much for coming to the live and asking the question. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Let's see. Okay. I'm a US citizen and I would like to petition my parents that live in India for a green card. What is the process for that? And then how long it takes? Awesome. So thank you so much for this question. It's actually a very common question that a lot of people ask. How can they help their parents come to the United States and get a green card? So the process for that, if they are in India, would be something called consular processing. So anyone that is applying for their green card and they are not in the United States, they need to go through the US consulate to obtain their residency in the United States. The process will start with you, the petitioner, filing something called an I-130 petition. That petition is filed here in the United States. And once it's approved, the case will then continue. You will have to provide more information, more documents. They would have to apply for something called an immigrant visa, which is a special visa that will allow them to come to the United States as immigrants. Okay. Eventually, they will have an interview at the embassy in India or the consulate there, and to get their visa. So that's pretty much the process. The second part of your question, how long will it take, is the hardest question that you can ask any immigration attorney because it's hard to say. Processing times really differ and they can change, but right now for consular processing, you're looking at about 24 months, about 2 years from the day you file the petition and the day that they come in to the United States. So if you are considering filing for your parents, the good thing is that that 2 years is just processing times. There's no wait. Petitioning for your parents is an immediate relative category, so there's no waiting for a green card to be available for them or a visa to be available for them. It is immediate relative, but it's just processing times are so long. So if you are thinking of filing for an immigration case for your parents, then just my recommendation would be to start as soon as possible. Okay, let me just check. On TikTok, Fireman is asking me where we're from. So the office is located in Orange County, California, and we serve clients from all over the United States and across the world as well. So we'd love to help you wherever you are. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys. If you're joining now, thank you so much. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. And even if you're watching the recording of this, I'm happy to answer your questions later as well. So just keep on asking. Okay. Okay. So there's a question here. I came from Africa and entered the US through the Mexican border. I have a court master hearing in September. I want to apply for asylum and withholding of removal. Okay, so thank you so much for your question. If you do have a court date, an immigration court date, it's very important to do two things. First, find an attorney that can help you and come with you to court. And second, not to miss that court date. So even if you cannot find an attorney by that time or anything, you have to attend your court date, because if you do not go to your court date, you will be ordered removed from the country. Okay, so definitely reach out and we can help you with that. Okay, let's see. So Syra is asking, I already have a consultation with you and I'm thinking of starting the process soon, but I do have some questions to ask beforehand. Should I make another appointment or consultation? You can just call in. You can call right now and ask to have a follow-up call with me and we'll get you scheduled. Okay, we'd love to talk to you and see what's going on and answer any follow-up questions. Okay, so just call the number here on the screen and we'll get you set on my calendar. Let's see, how to reach out for help. You can call this number, okay, on the screen, and we will direct you to the right, to the help that you need, okay? So the number is here, 714-794-9366. Okay, let's see. So there's a question here about someone that has an F4 petition from 2012 and the case is outside of normal processing times. So what do? So I would recommend that you schedule a consultation to have an attorney review and confirm that your priority date is current. Okay, if your priority date is current, then you can take action on your case. Okay, so feel free to reach out and we can evaluate your case further. Okay, okay. Let's see. Robin, thank you for asking the question. It's a long one, so let me read it for a second. It's a longer one. So you're saying that your fiance has 3 kids under the age of 18. 1 lives with her and 2 with their father. The one living with the mother will live with us in the US. Am I financially responsible for the 2 living with their father? Am I financially responsible for the 1 living with us? If we divorce, what financial obligations do I have? Let's assume all 3 are under 18. Okay, so Robin, I would love for you to schedule a consultation so that we can talk more in detail. But I will tell you just in general, if you're petitioning anyone for a green card, you are obligated to sign something called an affidavit of support. So you do need to sign that you will financially be obligated to sponsor the beneficiary, the person that you are petitioning for. Okay, so if you are petitioning for your stepchild, then you are still obligated to support them. Divorce does not sever this obligation. So even if you divorce your mom, that does not make you not responsible for them financially. But there are caveats with that. The financial obligation is is capped. It's limited to 125% over the poverty level. So it gets into detail, and I would love to discuss it with you. But you should take into account that you will be financially responsible to some extent to the kids that you petitioned. If they don't live with you and you did not petition them, then you won't be responsible for them, if that makes sense. Okay, but feel free to reach out and we can have a more personalized discussion about it. Okay, I hope that helped in the meantime. Okay. John is asking, how can I get a domicile for a U.S. citizen sponsor who's living abroad? Okay, that's a really good question because it happens a lot, and U.S. citizens don't even know what domicile. What even do they mean by domicile? Most people don't even realize that they need to be domiciled in the United States to petition someone. So technically, a U.S. citizen can petition their spouse or different family members that live abroad. And even if the spouse lives abroad, they can still start the petition. But by the time the beneficiary or the person that's being sponsored moves to the United States on their visa, the US citizen will have to reestablish their life in the United States, their domicile in the United States. So they would have to show that they are living here in the country, because to be a sponsor or a petitioner, you have to be domiciled in the United States. Okay, so let's say, for an example, it's a husband and wife, and the husband is the US citizen and they're living abroad, right? The husband can start the petition and can, the wife can go to the interview, but she would have to show that her spouse is going to come back to the United States with her and reestablish his life there. And the way you would show that is by writing a statement in which you specify the steps that you've taken to reestablish your life there. Have you started to look for places to live, apartments or houses? Have you put in resumes to look for jobs, and things like that? Another easy tip to establish domicile is just to move back to the United States. So when your spouse is about to go to their interview, you can already go back to the United States. That's another way. But what I would recommend is just to reach out to us if you want a little bit more information about ways to show your domicile. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just reviewing kind of the questions that came in. Okay, Robin, awesome. Thank you. I look forward for your call. Okay, Sarah, thank you for that extra information. I would just reach out to us and we can talk more specifically. Okay. Okay, there's a question about visa refusals. So my brother was a college student for a few years here. He went back home in 2018, and since then he applied for a visa 3 times and has been refused. We need to know the reason, and can the attorney help him contact the embassy or immigration office? What do you recommend? So, Sue, what country did your brother apply for the visa. And what visa was it? Was it a tourist visa? If you can give me that information, that would be helpful. Let's see. Okay, but I can just answer in general that if your visa is refused at the embassy, um, it's hard sometimes to know why, right? Sometimes the officer at the embassy doesn't give you a reason why. Okay, so thank you for the follow-up. He's from Saudi Arabia and a student visa. Okay. There's several reasons why someone would be refused a student visa, and the kind of what ties all of them together is that the embassy does not believe that he's really going to the US for school. So, it's a good idea maybe to kind of talk to him to figure out exactly what he was asked and exactly what he answered, and also how long has it been between the appointments. Okay, did he wait some time or did he go right away each time? So there's more digging around to do, but usually it's a combination of not believing that he's really going to school and not a lot of strong ties to the home country. It's tough and it's frustrating, and I'm so sorry. But please tell him to reach out to us and we can have a more like of a thorough conversation to figure out what happened at those interviews. This is our number here. We are available for phone calls right now, so you can call us or text us and we'll get back to you to schedule an appointment. So if anyone that wanted to schedule an appointment, I saw some on the comments, just feel free to reach out to us in our at this number. Okay. Mohammed, I think I did respond to your question. Your question was about the priority date being current on F4, but if you want to talk to me further, kind of one-on-one to discuss more, then please feel free to reach out and schedule a consultation. Awesome, John. I look forward to seeing you and talking with you further. Okay. Okay, Alexander has been texting on Instagram. Okay, thank you. I wasn't able to connect Instagram today to the live stream, so I'm sorry about that. Just arrived to Orange County. We've been 180 days before out of status will expired. We are working online, trying to get immigration path other than E2, E5. Okay, yes, I did see your question. It was on my list of the questions to get to. You're asking basically, and correct me if this is not right, what ways can I stay here? I came on a tourist visa. What ways can I stay? Like, what's the way that I can stay longer? What options are available? So it's very important to know that if you want to extend your status or change your status, you have to do that within the time that you are in status, or within that first 180 days, or however long your period of authorized stay is in the US. Usually it's 6 months. And there's really two options, right? Either extending your status as a tourist here or changing your status to something else. And there's a whole alphabet. Every letter in the ABC, there's a visa, or there's a status that you could technically apply for as long as you are in status. So what I would recommend is just to set an appointment, because it's really a longer conversation to go over the different options to see if anything fits. E2 is an investor visa that you can quickly change to, relatively quick change to that, depending on your situation. But there's things like the O1 or the F1 that might be relevant to you. So just please call us. It's 714-794-9366. We're available now to pick up your call and to schedule an appointment. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for the questions. Okay. There's a question here on TikTok, if a religious worker can change employer while the 485 is pending. It's a longer conversation. You might be able to, but it really depends on your situation, Ali. So if you can reach out to us, send us a private message, or call us at 714-794-9366. It's 714-794-9366, and we can evaluate your case, okay? So, sometimes it's hard to answer questions on a live stream because it's very fact specific, and there's certain questions that I need to ask. So this is really general information, but specific advice is really better, kind of one-on-one. Okay. Awesome, Alexander. Yes, please set an appointment. I'd love to meet you. Okay. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. If you have, please send them in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. Okay. So this question is, can I petition my husband if I'm unemployed? So we kind of touched on it earlier about the financial obligation of a petitioner. So it is true. If you are petitioning for your husband or for your spouse or for your parent or for your child, if you're a petitioner, you do have to fill out an affidavit of support. So you do have to commit and promise to sponsor the beneficiary, the person that you are sponsoring, petitioning, up to a certain extent. So you do have to file this affidavit of support. Now, what do they ask for in the affidavit of support? They want to know, as a petitioner, can you really support the person? So are you working? What's your income? What was your income in the last 3 years? They want to see tax returns. They want to see proof of employment. So if you are unemployed, it can get tricky to show those things, right? The good news, though, is that you can still petition your husband even if you're unemployed. The way to do that is through a joint sponsor. So you can have someone join as a sponsor with you. So you're still filling out an affidavit of support and you're still promising to sponsor your spouse, but there's going to be another person having to sponsor with you. So both of you guys would be responsible for the beneficiary separately, actually, each separately. Okay, but it's totally possible, and many people are either between jobs or they're very young, maybe they're students and they want to petition for their spouse. So it's 100% okay. You just need a joint sponsor, and the joint sponsor could be anyone that's a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. It doesn't have to be a family member. Really, anyone can be a sponsor. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take one more question. Biggie is asking, let me see right here. Hello, my name is Oscar. Question, can people, sorry, it's not Biggie, it's Oscar. Sorry about that. Can people with DACA living here in the US still apply for a tourist visa to be able to travel? Okay, so if you're on DACA, and DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which is the Dreamers, then you are here in the United States, you are in a period of authorized stay. You are allowed to work here. You would get a work permit, and you're protected from deportation. So that's what DACA gives you. Now, if you want to travel, you have to apply for something called advanced parole. So there is a way to travel while you're on DACA, but it's not through the tourist visa. You have to ask for a special permission, and you actually have to have a specific reason why you're asking for this permission, for this advanced parole or travel document. And it needs to be either a humanitarian reason, an educational reason, or a financial reason. So people here on DACA, there are options to travel. It's a little bit more tricky. You have to have a reason, but it's possible right now. And actually, if you are on DACA, I am encouraging everyone on DACA to apply for advanced parole, because down the road, that can give you a lot of options to fix your status. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Robin, thank you so much. We might have a lot of people calling right now, but we will get back to you today. Okay. The question is, can my fiance continue to visit the US with her tourist visa while on K1? Yes and no. Technically, she can, but she might have some questions at her entry. So it's a good thing to prepare her, if she is going to do that, to prepare for questions at entry. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take the last questions for today. And if you have any other questions, you can still write them in the comments, and I promise to get back to you. And if you're watching the recording, then also please write your questions and I'll get back to you later. Jess is asking, how long will it take to petition a spouse living abroad? So it's really very hard to say, because processing times are changing often, and it has to do a lot with backlog at certain embassies and consulates abroad. But our general advice that we're telling people, and what we're seeing in practice, is it's taking about 24 months, depending on the embassy. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. Okay, guys, thank you so much for everyone that joined today. It was really great to read all your questions, and I hope I gave some value to you guys when you were here. Please feel free to join our Facebook page, Instagram, follow us on TikTok and YouTube. We share a lot of information, and I'm going to be here live pretty often. So I hope to see you guys again soon.